So what is going on, guys? NandoPrince93 here with another video, and today's gonna be a fun one. So as you guys know, iPadOS 13.1 has been out for a little while now to the public, and Apple has made some great strides in allowing the software to make Apple's iPad hardware, which is top of the line, and allowing it to be more of a computer substitute or alternative. People hesitate to call it a replacement because, in my opinion, yeah, it's not really there yet. For my everyday use, it's all I need for my personal computing. So this is why I only have an iPad and I don't have a personal, classic laptop or desktop computer anymore, because it does everything that I need and then some. But there are a few things that are holding it back, right? So Apple did some great things. They added full desktop browsing experience. They changed the layout of the home screen to allow for widgets, the new multitasking, all that good stuff. But there are a few things that I wanted to touch on and make a wish list for iPadOS 14.0. And I don't think anybody's gonna be listening to it from the Apple side, but these are some of the things that I think would really, really step up Apple's game in making the iPad a full-on laptop replacement for the everyday user. So to begin with, I'm gonna go back into the idea of a desktop browsing experience. So if we jump into Safari, as you guys can see, I have YouTube loaded up, and I'm using my MX Anywhere 2S mouse. So that's another big thing that I'm gonna touch on, mouse support. So as you guys can see, the mouse works and you get a full desktop version of YouTube, which is awesome. I have a big video on Google Docs and how you can now access it through Safari. Chrome is yet to have any update to their desktop class browsing experience, which I think is going to be even better. But I use a plugin application to make my phone calls, right? It goes straight into the Chrome browser. It's easy to access. It pops out a new window for me to make my calls from, and I'm just not able to do it. Like, if I did not have a work computer that was given to me at work, I would not be able to make this my main device, and I would need to go out and get, a MacBook or some sort of Windows 10 computer. So, for instance, if you try to, so I know a really popular plugin app, right, is Honey. It allows you it searches the web for coupon codes, it gives you cash back, points back, all this stuff, right? So there is a now dedicated download manager on the iPad, but when you try to install it, it doesn't really let you, and it says Honey's for Safari. Honey for Safari is only available on macOS. So I'll zoom into that so you guys can see it, but so you are incapable of doing any sort of plugins. So I have a lot of, I use Ebates, Honey, like I said, the plugin for work, and a bunch of other ones that I just make my life a lot easier. So plugin capability and plugin support is a must. And let me go back and say that from now on, the new iPadOS updates that are going to be coming throughout this year, between now and September 2020, they're not going to be drastic. They're all going to be back-end ones. There might be a couple new things here and there, like maybe making a better experience for audio sharing, but everything's going to be more back-end. You're not going to see a lot of visual changes and nothing game-breaking. The game-breaking stuff has already released, and it's already here, and that's what we're going to have for the rest of the calendar, or for the next 12 months, 11 months, whatever it's going to be. So now let's get back to it. Like I said, so plugin support is a must. That's my number one wish for iPadOS 14.0 wish list. And then let's touch on the mouse support. So Apple, again, making great strides and allowing users to have some sort of external way of communicating with the iPad, right? We used to only have finger touch. Then they brought in the Apple Pencil with the 2015 iPad Pro. They updated the Apple Pencil. And now with iPadOS, you have a lot more capabilities to use a lot more peripherals, like a dedicated mouse with a pointer, right? So what I do wish in this, it could be Apple not allowing third-party users, or not releasing an APK for third-party applications to be able to customize mouse support, because it's still under the accessibility feature. And I'm doing a lot of research on what accessibility means and why that's there. And it's not meant for the normal user, right? So I'm gonna make a whole separate video on how cool the accessibility features on the Apple iPad are, because they are very, very extensive. So I definitely wish that next on the list, number 2, is gonna be real mouse support for iPad and for third-party applications especially, so you can map all of these keys outside of just the normal native iOS software. And then the third one is gonna be about gaming, right? So as you guys know, Apple Arcade came out, it's great, it's awesome, $4.99, for unlimited, or not unlimited, for all these games with no in-app downloads, all that. What I want to see is sports games to stop being watered down versions for iOS devices, like 2K, like Madden, like FIFA, like all these games that I play all the time on my Xbox and that I love. I want us to have full versions on this thing, because these things are more powerful than any Xbox, any PlayStation 4 out there. So I don't understand why they're all being watered down. And number two, cross-platform gaming. So what that means is basically being able to sign into my Xbox Live account, log into Madden, and then play somebody online that's using an Xbox on the other end. There's a few games that do this already. Fortnite is one of them. You can battle people that are playing the Xbox while you're using your iPad. You know, playing somebody that's using a Switch on your iPhone. So there are some games that are doing it, but I want it to be a lot more abundant. There's literally only 5 or 6 games that support that, and that's from the gaming company's point of view. Apple isn't the one that did that. Fortnite kind of forced themselves into being able to do that. So that's my number 3 on the wish list. And then another one that I want to really see is, again, Apple made amazing strides. You know, take a shot for every time I say the word strides in this video, guys. Right? So I can pull up Safari, have 2 instances of Safari open, which wasn't a thing in iOS 12, and it now is a thing on iPadOS. But I want to have more of a laptop-like experience. So I want to be able to maybe block off 4 parts of the screen. So I have 4 windows of 4 different applications open at the same time. I am not a fan. A lot of people like this for some reason. I'm not a fan of this. I don't like this form of multitasking. I never use it. I think it takes up too much screen real estate, and it's just not really useful in my opinion. This is probably the second time that I've pulled this up, and the only reason I pull this up is to show people that it can be done, but I don't use this feature whatsoever. I use the side by side. So when I multitask like this, I use this all the time. I have an Excel sheet open on one side, maybe a PowerPoint on the other side, and I'm just making sure that my data's there. But I need third-party applications to support multitasking, period, because right now, mostly only native Apple apps have these multitasking features with the same instance. And secondly, give me a better solution from that weird third window. I want to be able to block off 4 different, corners of this. I want to be able to use 2 on here and then maybe have my home screen on this side. So those are things that I think Apple really needs to do, so it does become, again, more of a laptop replacement as opposed to an alternative or a supplemental device to that current desktop or laptop situation that you have. Another thing is gonna have to be the home screen, right? So this, obviously, it looks different, it feels different, but in reality, widgets existed already. They've been around for a few years. And in reality, all they did was put the widget screen on the homepage. So it makes it look and feel a little better, but I wanna be able to just move my apps around and maybe just have a bar of main apps here on the side, and have the middle of the screen open so people can see my wallpaper. So more customizable home screen experience would be really, really nice too. And then another one is the Apple Pencil. So again, Apple redesigned their Apple Pencil. Let's zoom in on that, focus on that. It now has that flat edge to allow it to magnetically charge, so you don't have some ridiculous situation like you had with the old iPads to charge the pencil sticking out the bottom like that. So that's one of the weirdest designs I've ever seen in my life, and I'm so glad they got rid of it. But if you compare pens and pencils to other operating systems, like Samsung's pens, even Microsoft Surface pens, there's a lot more functionality. Right now, the only thing you can do with this pencil is double tap to change from eraser back to the current tip, quote unquote tip that you're using in the Notes app or whatever you're doing to mark up. But give me something else, right? Let me use this to take a picture. Let me use this to move the screen around. Like, even though it might be a gimmick and it might not really have a lot of use cases, like, I want those features. Like, why not give me all those features when I'm spending $130 on something that usually comes with or alongside, the new Samsung tablet, or with the Microsoft Surface, it's a lot cheaper to get the pen than spending $130 on a pencil. That sure is great, but again, it's an accessory it's too expensive for the normal person. And I would highly suggest, honestly, not even bothering with it, because I only use it for notes. I do take a lot of notes, so I need it for myself, but if you're not taking notes and if you're not an artist, you don't need that pen. Absolutely not. So give me some more functionality with the pencil to make it worth that $130. And then another thing that obviously can't be done through software implementation is give me one more USB-C port. Maybe, I doubt, there's supposed to be an announcement in late October of a new iPad. I doubt they're gonna add another port, because that's just not what Apple does. They're not gonna ruin the symmetry of the device, or maybe put a USB-C port on the other side, or maybe 2 down here. but I would like another one so I can have one hard drive plugged, so I don't need like a dongle if I want to do more than one USB-C device. I want to be able to charge it and have a hard drive on there. Right now you cannot do that. And then lastly, give me Final Cut Pro. LumaFusion is great, it's amazing, it's been getting the job done for me the entire time that I've had this YouTube channel, but give me Final Cut Pro. I remember I used to have a pirated version of it on my MacBook and it worked great, and I just want it on the iPad Pro. So those are, I think it was 9 or 10 things that I wish Apple is going to include on iPadOS 14.0. And comment below, what do you guys want to see brought to iPadOS? What do you want to see your iPad do better from a software standpoint? Because honestly, like I said, the iPad is making great strides and it's moving in the direction of a laptop replacement, but sadly it's not really there yet. For most people it is, but if you're getting real in depth with it and you use it for everything, then maybe hold off a year, maybe hold off until iPadOS 14.0 or 15.0. Because eventually this will be it. This will be what everybody has in their backpack or holding onto their arm or in coffee shops. I think this is gonna be the way that we're moving towards. So that's gonna do for this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate the support. Also, like I said in my last video, this stand is dope. Definitely try it out if you guys wanna pick it up. It works with tablets, phones, pretty much anything. But that's gonna do for this video. Like I said, please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And until next time, peace.